clarify the incident. The correction direction was issued to the online citizen on the 21st of May.
Still to come, fears of worsening violence between Myanmar's military and armed civilians. And 7 million people back in lockdown as Australia's Victoria state returns to tough coronavirus curbs for a week.
This Saturday, could rising inflation derail the post-pandemic economic recovery?
Those parts of the market that are more overvalued could easily get hit.
Relooking China's growth model as its population ages.
Chinese babies are not growing into industrial workers in the future.
Plus, how to be a part of the blockchain boom. Saturday on CNA.
奈々ちゃんは山梨名物のほうとう食べたいものぶれていません。
俺全部いつも奥かな。
そうやってなるんだ。いい話。
はいはい。
Japan Hour Saturday on CNA. Japan Hour is brought to you by Sumitomo Corporation and SMBC.
They treat me like a slave.
तो एक के चलती हजारों आदमी भूखे मर जाते।
मैं तो सोचता था कि मैं कहीं मम्मी को मैं बहुत बोलता था, मम्मी मुझे कुछ अच्छा पॉइजन दे दो कि मैं मर जाऊं।
Oh my God, they've been blasting the wrecks.
A brand new season of Undercover Asia.
Updating tonight's top stories, an $800 million package unveiled for firms and individuals hardest hit by stricter COVID-19 measures. It includes wage support and new cash payouts. Stricter COVID-19 safe management measures are working for now. The number of new community cases has stabilized. More certainty and a lifeline. SMEs say rental support will help them keep their businesses going for much longer.
Malaysia will enter a full COVID-19 lockdown for the first 2 weeks of next month. All businesses will not be allowed to operate during this period except for essential economic and service sectors. Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin says the decision was made due to the worsening outbreak as well as the risk of new variants. Malaysia has recorded an all-time high of 8,290 infections in a single day. Melissa Goh tells us more.
a return to a total lockdown is inevitable, according to a statement released by the Prime Minister's office. This after a record-breaking number of new cases Malaysia is witnessing the past week, surpassing 8,000 mark today, and looks set to rise further as infectivity rate is still hovering around 1.2. Now, the healthcare system is already at a breaking point, and the new wave is a lot more infectious and harder to control. And with mounting death toll at more than 2,500, the government said a full lockdown is for 2 weeks from June 1st to 14th, and during that period, only essential services can operate. The rest to stay at home. Now, it's a full lockdown. Details will be released by the National Security Council later, the statement said. Now, if the situation improves, the country then will move into phase 2 for 4 weeks, where there will be some relaxation in the movement restrictions with certain sectors that can adhere strictly to social distancing allowed to operate. Now, phase 3 thereafter will involve further easing like what we have right now, but details still sketchy at this point in time, but it appears to be a plan with 3 phases involved, depending on the situation on the ground. Now, Malaysians are gripped by the announcement today, and some, of course, will be welcoming because this is the fastest way, they said, to bring cases down, while others are considering the cost of the economy may be grave at 2.4 billion ringgit a day. That's over $600 million US, something that they have been weighing between life and livelihood for all this while.
The next 3 weeks will be key for Japan. The Prime Minister has extended a COVID-19 state of emergency for Tokyo and 8 other prefectures until the 20th of June. He wants to try to speed up vaccinations and stop the spread of infections. Mr. Yoshihide Suga says that the country must remain on high alert as more than 80% of cases have been linked to the UK variant of COVID-19.
強い感染力を持つとされる変異株への置き換わりが進む中で実施される対策が感染者数の減少につながるまで以前より長い時間を必要としております。
The extension will leave Japan only about a month until the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games. Nearly 3,500 new cases and 76 deaths have been recorded today. All Olympic delegations from South Asia must now be vaccinated before heading to Japan. Tokyo 2020 organizers also say that they will draw up separate guidelines for all events. There's still much to prepare to ensure a safe Games, as Michio Ishida reports.
One major decision that was expected to be made is about spectators at the venues of the Olympic Games. Well, it appears that the organizing committee wants to accommodate fans, but it cannot make the announcement at this point in time when the state of emergency is extended. And the Olympic organizers want to assure a safe and secure Olympic Games. So consolidating the medical system is important. It says that 2,600 doctors, 3,800 nurses, and more healthcare workers will work on shifts during the Olympic Games. The Olympic playbook, a second version has been released as a guideline, and the third version should be out in June. And this should finalize COVID-19 measures, movement of various stakeholders until their departure from Japan. Now, the key for Japan is safety of residents, so that they will not be so unhappy with the hosting of the Olympic Games, and that's by accelerating vaccination. At this point in time, only about 3% of the Japanese population has been fully vaccinated. The government assures that there's enough vaccination to go around, but there's a lack of those who can actually administer these vaccines to the public. So there's a lot the Japanese government must do ahead of the Olympic Games.
Streets across the Australian state of Victoria are empty again, with nearly 7 million people now in a fourth COVID-19 lockdown. Authorities hope the week-long curbs will contain a growing cluster in Melbourne. 4 new cases have been reported today. 30 infections have now been linked to the cluster in 5 days. The military has been asked to help find out how the virus leaked into the community.
The next 7 days in Victoria will be very challenging. And of course, we are very mindful of the distress and the difficulty that this will impose upon people right across Victoria as a result of what is being described, rightly I think, by the acting Premier as a circuit-breaking lockdown, and a lockdown for 7 days that hopefully won't go as long as that.
The World Health Organization is planning another study to investigate